How good is Manchester United target Raphael Varane? For cheap good quality football jerseys, retro jerseys and tracksuits, go over to www.jerseyfifa.com. A link will be left in the description and use code ATLANTISFOOTBALL for 5% off. In this video, I will analyse Raphael Varane, looking at his strengths and weaknesses, whether he'd be a better centre-back partner for either Lindelof or Maguire, and then towards the end of the video I'll suggest 3 alternative options that I think could be better options for United at centre-back, despite it looking like the Varane transfer is close to happening. So Raphael Varane has been considered an elite centre-back for almost a decade now and was in his prime around 2017-2018 in my opinion, during the spell of Real Madrid winning 3 consecutive Champions Leagues and France winning the World Cup. Varane is a technically excellent defender. He's a very good tackler, often timing his standing and sliding challenges perfectly, and he's able to play as either a covering centre-back, slightly deeper than his centre-back partner, anticipating and following runs in behind, or as a front foot defender, pushing out of the defensive line to intercept a pass into a striker, or put in a tackle to win the ball back. These traits are both aided by Varane's strength and pace, which makes it incredibly difficult to outrun him, as firstly he recognises where the opposition attacker's run is going to be made, and then adjusts his body and defensive positioning so that he can see the run and then get across in the most efficient way possible to cut it out. At Real Madrid this season in La Liga, Varane completed 0.7 tackles per 90, which isn't a lot at all, because obviously at Real Madrid he's exposed less to one-on-one situations than he would be at another club, but he was only dribbled past 0.3 times per 90, giving him an impressive tackle success rate of 70%, showing that when Varane is in these one-on-one situations, his pace, tackling ability, composure and concentration is top level, which enables him to win so many of these duels. He is also aerially dominant, as seen in La Liga this season. He completed 2.4 aerial duels, only losing 0.8, which gives him a very impressive aerial duel success rate of 75%. This is something that United need in their backline, with Lindelof not the most convincing when crosses are coming into the box, and when he's up against an aggressive aerial striker, with the opening goal against West Brom earlier on in the season a perfect example of this. I have spoken about Manchester United's defensive problems and offensive problems a lot this season, so I'll leave some videos linked in the description below for you to check out after this video. Varane also has the necessary ball playing abilities needed to function in a possession system at a top side. He's a very good long passer, able to drive passes from deeper positions in front of an opposition system out to the flanks in advanced positions, which is extremely valuable for progressing the attack, and whilst Maguire and Lindelof are good progressors of the ball, Maguire more through his dribbling and Lindelof through his passing, I would say that Varane's long passing is better than both. However, Varane does have similar weaknesses to both the current United centre-backs, and that's being error prone when in the box, and more specifically being error prone when having to make sharp decisions regarding defensive and body positioning. In Real Madrid's 4-1 defeat against Valencia earlier on this season, for one of the goals Varane makes an error from a low cross across the box where he doesn't read the play and get his body positioning right from this situation, as he often does get correct when anticipating movement in behind the back line, but here his body is far too closed, meaning that when he does intercept the cross he ends up putting it up in the air and it eventually goes over the line for a Valencia goal. In the 2 games against Shakhtar Donetsk he did make big Harry Maguire-esque mistakes, with one here where he was in a total positional mess, almost moving out of the way in his own box, which allowed the Shakhtar player to finish the ball into the net. I think that many people remember Varane of a few seasons ago, where he was at least in the top 5 best centre-backs in the world, but his level has dropped significantly since then, and even though he did recover his form last season to put in some very good performances, I do think that there may be better options, particularly for the £50 million that Real Madrid apparently are demanding for him, but I'll come on to those options later on. So who would Varane partner for Manchester United at centre-back? Well, Varane is a better covering defender in my opinion, sitting slightly deeper and anticipating runs in behind, which he's very good at due to his acceleration, strength and tackling ability. Lindelof is very much a covering defender. He isn't one to push out aggressively looking to win the ball in front of the defensive line, but Maguire is a lot better at doing this, as he has shown for England at the Euros, which is why I think Maguire and Varane as a partnership would work a lot better than a Lindelof-Varane partnership. Reports have suggested that Real Madrid want a fee in the region of £15 million, with others claiming that the fee is €50 million, so it's hard to gauge the exact fee that would be demanded, but I would assume it would be between £45 and £50 million. But what centre-back alternatives could United get for that fee or even a lesser fee? Well, my first option would be a lot cheaper, and that is Luis Felipe of Lazio. The 24-year-old Brazilian is a fantastic defender, reminds me a lot of Pepe, and I do think that he could be a better option to Varane because he is less error prone and someone who I think will develop significantly in the next few seasons. He doesn't have Varane's pace or passing ability, which is something to consider, but with just a year left on his contract, United could probably land him for just £20 million at most, I would guess. Another more expensive option would be Jules Koundé of Sevilla, who has been talked about as one of the best young centre-backs around, and I would have to agree. I do think he is better than Varane, and people who watch La Liga regularly can see where I'm coming from with this opinion. He'd likely cost around £50 million to £60 million, so like Varane, he'd be an expensive signing. And before I get into my final alternative, remember to subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get notified when my other Manchester United transfer analysis videos come out. Also, I will be putting together a weekly newsletter, probably £1 a week, but I will be doing the first 2 weeks completely free as a trial. So if you like article style content, analysing topics each week that I'm not able to make videos about, as well as Q&As and guest posts as well, then just send an email to www.atlantisfootballweekly@gmail.com so you get the newsletter for the next 2 weeks, and then you can see if you want to sign up after that for £1 a week. So my final alternative option is Nikola Milinkovic of Fiorentina, who is 23 and has just 1 year left on his contract, and would likely cost around £20 million, and is very reminiscent of the Man Utd in the sense that he is a hard-tackling, aggressive, aerially dominant defender who would definitely improve United overall at centre-back. He doesn't have the same ball-playing abilities or pace that Varane has, which could make the Frenchman a more appealing option to Solskjaer. So who do you think United should sign at centre-back? Varane, one of the other three I've suggested, or someone else? Let me know in the comment section below, as well as giving me some constructive criticism on this video as well. And also subscribe to the channel, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, click the bell, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and check out some of my other videos which will be linked in the description as well.